Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video for you, a very special Master Duel video for you. As you can see, we normally start on, we don't normally start on this screen. Well, I guess for one I can show if I finally got the danger mate, but that's not what this video is about. This video is about something far more important than that, because this is going to be our very first viewer special. Now, what exactly is the viewer special? Well, this is an idea that I've been kicking around for quite a while, because you know, I've considered this I consider this channel in a lot of ways a group project between me and, you know, everybody in the comments, because I've said it a million times at the end of my videos. Now I get to say it at the start of one. I love your guys' feedback that I see in the comments. I feel like I've got one of the better comment sections as far as like Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube videos goes, because you guys are always really good about giving constructive criticism, good feedback, making good suggestions for the decks, pointing out alternative lines of play, and you know, you guys are just such an important part of the channel in that regard. Like, you know, I wouldn't be half the player I am without your guys' help. So I wanted to kind of like make this channel more about us. I wanted to include you, the viewers, in another in a better way, I guess I should say. And I figured one of the best ways to do that would be to do a viewer special, because I've not only had this idea myself for a couple of seasons now, but I've also seen a lot of comments asking or suggesting like, hey, it would be cool if we could like share our deck lists and or replays with you, and then that way you could look at our games maybe for a video. And yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea. So that's what we're going to be doing. This is viewer special number 1, and I do emphasize that this is viewer special number 1 because I definitely plan to have a number 2 and ideally a 3 and a 4 and so on and so forth. I would love for this to be an ongoing series, but I need your guys' help in order to be able to do that. So if you want to share your deck lists and or replays with me, the best way for you to do that is to check out my Twitter. That's going to be linked in the description below. You can go ahead and check out my Twitter, and I have a pinned tweet right up there at the top of my profile where I curate all of these replays and deck lists. So you can go ahead and reply to that tweet with your replays there. Go ahead and share your player ID, like here. Well, don't share this one, obviously. This is mine. And great, now I've just guaranteed. Well, now I've really guaranteed there's going to be a bunch of comments that are just sharing my ID back at me. So thanks in advance, guys. I appreciate it. No, but yeah, go ahead and share your ID, and then the best way for you to notate the replay, obviously save the replay and make it public so I can see it, and then just go ahead and share the date and time, and then that's obviously that's gonna be the best way for me to tell which replay that you would like for me to look at. Now, if you don't have a Twitter, that's quite all right. You can also go ahead and leave a comment below with the replay there, or rather with your player ID and then the replay date and time. And then that's another way for me to look at it. If you have a Twitter, it is better to post it on the pinned tweet, because that is like one spot where I can see all of the responses, as opposed to, you know, scattered comments across a whole bunch of videos. But that said, if you commented on YouTube, if you don't have a Twitter, that's fine. I will try to get to those as best I can as well. So today's replays come to us from a user named Mixed P. Mixed P, obviously well, I was gonna say, I hope you're okay with me sharing your name and you know, player ID, but obviously if you shared them to me publicly on Twitter, I'm assuming you're all right with that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be looking at 3 games from Mixed P there, and then you're gonna want to stick around to the end of the video as we then look at the deck list that Mixed was using. Mixed saved some pretty choice games for us to watch here. There's some pretty good ones. They're all nice back and forth, some nice dramatic comebacks, you know, things we just love to see in general. So yeah, if you would like your deck and or replays to be you know, viewed, then you're going to want to go ahead and go to my Twitter, again, link in the description, or again, if you don't have a Twitter, leave them in the YouTube comments. I can try to get to them there as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at that footage now. Okay, so now we are on to a video that I have, you know, pre-recorded here. There is a Mixed P's profile there, and Fredo here is going to be the first opponent. As you can see, we got a nice 10-turn game here. Fredo is going to be the first opponent of Mixed P's that we are going to be watching here. And yeah, these games are all fairly solid. Obviously, I've watched them all already, so. All right, we look at our opening hand here: Nerval, Kit, Storm, Imperm, Revolt. So this is gonna have to be a Almirage setup, but our opponent has a Max C right off the bat when we normally summon Kit. So interesting. Mix actually goes into the Almirage here to get the Kit search, well, the Kit mill for a search, but opponent's got Ash, which is a bit unlucky. You know, it's interesting. I hadn't really normally considered getting the guaranteed search in exchange for giving them a draw. Usually I just end so I don't give them a draw, but you know, right off the bat, we're already seeing plays that I normally don't consider that I'm watching other people do, which then makes me consider them, which is the main reason to watch other people play the game, right? It's one of the best ways to improve at playing, not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but literally any game. The best way to improve is to watch other people play. So that's another reason why I wanted to include you guys and start this series, is to gain some insight and look at some lines that maybe I hadn't considered with these decks before, you know? Now, it looks like our opponent's playing Prank Kids, so it's a bit unfortunate that all we've got here, really, in terms of response, is Imperm. Because obviously, Imperm is really only able to stop Doodle Doodle Doo. We can't really stop the Prank Kid searches and summons here. So, a little bit unfortunate in that regard. And wow, looks like they've got the... oh wow, yeah, they have the Lampsies and the Dropsies already in hand. So, they can just Pandemonium straight into Battle Butler. I feel like there's a better combo line they could have done if they opened multiple Prank Kids and the Pandemonium. I don't know. I feel like they could have. I feel like our opponent here could have done more, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I have to like stop and really think about it. I also saw that Polymerization get banished, so interesting. I don't really see many Prank Kids players run Poly on Master Duel Ladder, but it's definitely not a bad card by any means. Let's see, what else are they going into here? Looks like, oh, okay, the Bow Wow Bark, I see. And then passing back to us. Okay, so we've got the Lightning Storm. That's pretty nice. It's still right to pop off the Lightning Storm here, even though the Bow Wow Bark is going to trigger, which is going to protect the Battle Butler. You know, it's still, like I said, I think it's right to Lightning Storm here. Crossout Designator is definitely a good draw here to stop if our opponent's last card is a hand trap. I don't think we know what our opponent's last card is. No, because they drew it off Roxy's, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so yeah, without the Almirage, we don't really have much other choice with Nerval by itself other than just set it and pass here. Cool, we get the search here as well for the Fractal. That's always very nice. And the opponent had to tribute their Battle Butler. Wait, did they not have a Meow Meow Moo set up? I thought they did, but okay, maybe they didn't, or maybe they just forgot to use it or something. I don't know. But, okay, I think they're going for pretty much more or less a one-card Prank Kids line here, as they're going from the Prank Kids into the Meow Meow Moo, to the other Prank Kids, to the Doodle Doodle Doo. Oh yeah, so this is the third Doodle Doodle Doo. Yeah, admittedly, while I was looking back at this game, I was kind of like, or while I was recording this footage that we're seeing here, I was kind of only like half paying attention to this game in particular, so I remember looking back and being like, wait, another Doodle? Didn't they already use 2? So they must be playing 3. Yeah, it looks like they are playing 3 Doodle Doodle Doo. Using Doodle Doodle Doo to recycle the Battle Butler. That is one reason why I'm pretty comfortable, you know, saying you can get away with one Battle Butler, is because between Doodle Doodle Doo and Pranks, it's not that hard to recycle. So looks like they've got the Weather Wash here. We're only at 2,000 here, so it looks like they're trying to go for, well, now they're at 10,000 to our 2,000, so looks like they're trying to go for game. Yeah, we're going to have to use this Revolt here in order to pretty much stop ourselves from dying at this point. Revolt for 2 into Farajit looks good. We do also get the Search and, you know, Mill from Nerval Kit here. Nice chain block, we love to see that. Opponent's got an Ash Blossom, we've got the Crossout as well, so we can still get the Graveyard set up too. But even if we didn't have the Crossout Exterminator here, you know, we still chain blocked very nicely, so excellent mixed P, we'd love to see that. You could kind of make an argument for just letting the Ash go here, honestly, and saving the Crossout, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong to want to set up... Well, we probably need to set up the Grave in order to be able to have enough stuff to banish anyway. Yeah, since this is a recording, I can't actually check the Graveyard, but I do it this way so that, you know, the replays, I guaranteed have them. If you do comment a replay, do try to leave it up for at the very least, a few days, but... ideally like a week or so, just to give me time to be able to record it and grab it, you know, before it goes away. Just leave it up there for a solid amount of time, you know, so I can get to it. But Okay, yeah, wow, we drew a Thoroughblade in addition to the Fractal and Chaos we already searched from the last couple of turns, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, we have huge comeback potential here. We're at 1,600 to our opponent's 10,000, but looking at the board state in our hand, I'm actually reasonably comfortable with our position here, and I think we're going to win this game pretty handily. So this is interesting. Now the opponent's Bow are barking in response to the Race Vulgar summon, even though Race Vulgar is a quick effect. And they use the Meow Meow Moo effect to not tribute the Bow. I guess I understand doing that, wanting to keep some board presence, but still, that's odd to me. I don't know. Yeah, this Prank Kids players' plays are just a little bit odd to me. But they could still be right given their hand. I mean, we can't see it. Who knows? But I don't know. I have my suspicions. Sorry, I bumped the desk there for a moment. I love to see him make the Borbo there. It's smart to make Borbo when you're going to go into Zeus anyway, even if your opponent doesn't have anything on the board, just in case, you know, you never know, your opponent could randomly summon something during the battle phase, and then you would definitely wish you had a Borbo. Looks like we're going into a Zeus line now after a 2-material Appaloosa. I really like that line, actually, because we already knew, even with Access Code Talker, that we were going to have enough damage in order to finish off our opponent on this turn, because, you know, they were at 10,000 life points. So, being able to set up the Appaloosa to protect the Zeus here, I really like that. Plus, that also means that we don't have to shotgun our Zeus right away. We can potentially negate with Appaloosa and then send with Zeus as a follow-up. So yeah, I like that line a lot. Okay, opponent's going to lead with a normal summon to Dropsies here. Looks like they're going to try to set up another Prank Kids line. But we've got the Appaloosa to, yep, like I said, the Appaloosa to negate the Dropsies here, so. Now this is going to put our Appaloosa down to 800, which means it can now get run over by Meow Meow Moo, but that's fine, you know, that's totally cool. Especially because, yeah, we get to add another material to Zeus for now another full charge. Opponent's going to use Prank Kids Pranks during the end phase, but, yep, Mixed P is going to respond with Zeus because, remember, face up continuous spell and trap cards have to, well, I mean, I suppose to face down, I know, but they have to remain face up on the field in order to resolve. So that's why our opponent didn't get a draw after the card got Zeus there. So, yep, I see we're just turning Zeus to attack mode, smacking him and passing. The Max C is nice backup, just in case Zeus's materials, you know, by itself aren't enough, but it should probably, yeah, our opponent doesn't really even have anything to do here, so. I drew another Max C. We'll just go and smack our opponent again for... I would have been a little... Well, we're at 1,400. I was going to say I would have been a little tempted to summon the Max C, but it's not for lethal. We're at 1,400, so yeah, definitely not the smartest play here. And yeah, cool. All right, looks like that was enough for our opponent to go ahead and get the... give us the win there, so that's awesome. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pause it there, and yeah, that was an excellent game, excellent comeback from 1,600 against 10,000 life points. Very nice back and forth. All right, now let's go ahead and cut to the next game. Okay, so Mixed P's next opponent here is going to be, I think it's just Tom. Their name is just Tom and nothing else, so that's kind of funny. I don't know, I just think it's funny when people's usernames are just like their first name. I don't know why that's amusing to me, but oops, sorry, I don't want to be like the teacher in high school and leave the cursor on the screen. So there we go, now it goes away. Yeah, so as you can see there, we opened a very much going second hand going first, which is always really annoying when that happens. So Mixed P does fire off the Max C there at the start of the turn. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's wise to save Max C for when your opponent actually starts special summoning, but it's not necessarily bad to fire off Max C right away, and that can even encourage your opponent to just end their turn right away, essentially getting a turn skip, which is really good. But I don't know, that's just kind of a difference of opinion, I suppose. So opponent's going to lead with a normal summon Diviner, playing Drytron. We know that's actually usually a pretty good sign, it means they don't have too much gas in their hand. I like using the, Imperm there, saving the Ash for an in-hand effect to negate. Very smart, I definitely like to see that there. Yeah, normally I would negate the Althaiba in order to stop the Ritual Spell Surge, but our opponent's got low enough resources that I think negating Althaiba or Thurbin. And you know what? I do also have to admit this is post-banless Drytron, so actually negating the Thurbin to stop the Benten Surge is probably the right way to go now that I think about it. Huh, yeah, you know, I haven't played against Drytron that much since the banless started, so I haven't really had many opportunities to reevaluate the way I play against them, so... oof, yeah, that Imperial Order Definitely not the gas we wanted to see there. But, you know, we're playing against Drytron, so we do have another Max C and this Imperial Order. So even though we don't really have much gas right now, we're going to be able to stop our opponent from really being able to do anything like too scary anyway, so that's nice. Alright, yeah, looks like they're going to be giving us some nice draws off of Max C. Tenki is a decent top deck, although not if we flip up this Imperial Order, which is still probably going to be the right decision here. And yeah, we'll do it in response to the Drytron over here. It is tempting to not flip Imperial Order, to not only get more draws off of Max C, but also in order to... Wow, that's actually a cool animation, too. That's, yeah, this game is actually the first time I've seen the new Imperial Order animation, but, I do actually think it was wise to flip it up here anyway. I do think it was ultimately the right play. I don't think it was necessarily wrong to consider not flipping it, but I do think it is right to do so here, so... Okay, and we did draw a Thoroughblade off of the Max C at some point anyway, so that's good. So we're able to, you know, pretty much stop our opponent, or I'd rather not stop our opponent. We're able to have a follow-up play next turn. And of course, drawing Max C off Max C, you gotta love it. Okay, looks like they are setting up for a... Oh, a Black Rose here. I was like, level 7 Synchro in Drytron. I was trying to figure out what it was going to be. Looks like it's going to be a Black Rose Dragon. Opponent's going to attack, and it's funny. So with these attacks, they actually end up leaving us at 600, which means we can't pay for Imperial Order, which means it gets destroyed. So now we can use spells during our turn, which is funny, right? So, like... I don't know, I feel like it was wise for our opponent to actually not attack with the Union Carrier, so that way Imperial Order would stay up and spells would still be off for the opponent's turn. Well, wait, let me actually think for a second. So they would have been at 16, pace 7, pace 7. So actually, I don't know, you couldn't make an argument either way, because then Imperial Order still would have been up for the opponent's next turn as well. But, I mean, we would have had plays either way, but I don't know, that's just an interesting line to think about from the Drytron player's perspective. But, okay, looks like we're going straight into access code talker here. We do have to be mindful of the Eva. You know, it could potentially search an Orange Herald, which could potentially mess us up, but I think we should still mostly be fine here. Looks like we're going to pop the Black Rose Dragon and then normal summon the Thoroughblade to go into some Zodiac plays. Right on. This is another nice comeback game, too, not only in terms of, like, board presence, but also life points as well, like 600 to 8,000. Definitely quality games there. Mixed, love to see them. Alright, so yeah, Trident's going to go ahead and pop that Fafnir there before we go into Borbo. Oh, and that's right, the Revolt. I knew I was forgetting something, but yeah, the Revolt is still live here, so that's really, really nice. So this is cool. So now, even if they get the Orange Herald, we can still chain block and play around it. Very, very nice. Ooh, that shiny shuri looks nice too. So yeah, Eva's gonna get the search here. Oh, but actually we're not using any more activated effects. I didn't even think about that. So we don't even have to use chain blocking to like save ourselves, because yeah, we attack with Borbo, we attack with access code, and then we attack with Shurig for game. Neat. So yeah, the Orange Herald actually didn't end up mattering, because we revolted specifically. So cool. All right. Very nice play. We love to see it. Love to see it. All right, we've got one more game to watch with Mixed P, and then, like I said earlier, we're going to still want to stick around to the end as we then look at mixed. Let's say that 5 times fast. Decklist. All right, let's go ahead and watch the next game. All right, last game we're going to see from Mixed P here. This one is going to be... Oh, I forget what the deck is off the top of my head. So they're nice back and forth, though, and oh, we love to see this board. We love to see the mirror match with this board here. Oh, but it doesn't play the music when you watch a replay. That's right. Ooh, and Adhara. Is this... Oh, that's right. This is Adaemancipators. I thought it was going to be Sword Soul at first. But no, this is, yeah, against Adaemancipators. And oof, our opponent led with not only Adhara, but also Guardian and then Researcher. And we don't have any hand traps at all. So this is definitely going to be really, really scary. As our opponent's going to more or less be able to get a full setup. However, we are playing Forbidden Droplet. And it's very good that we are, because Forbidden Droplet's actually going to be able to... board break our opponent's Omni negates here. Or they're all their negates, rather. Well, they'll have an Omni, you know what I mean. We've all seen the Adaemancipator, you know, videos. If you haven't, you should check them out. But no, we all know what scary things Adamantium can do. Scary, scary things, especially when they get the Roxy's. Holy cow! Yeah, they've definitely got the full combo here, full stop. But like I said, we've got the Droplet too, and this is one of the reasons why I still like to play Droplet, even though Drytron isn't around anymore. Excuse me. Yeah, because there's still plenty of decks that make, especially now with Sword Souls around as well, there's still plenty of decks that make boards with multiple things that we need to negate. So, playing Droplet in decks like Trizu that have the spare resources to use with it, definitely still the right call in my opinion. Maybe if you were playing 3, you go down to 2 now that Drytron's no longer a thing, but still a good card to have. Interesting that they went into the Meow Meow Moo here. Couldn't you have gone into Union Carrier first and then equipped the Dodo Dodo Do, I thought, but maybe not. Alright, so it looks like they've got the Block Dragon as well. Yikes. So yeah, they oh wow, our opponent's got like the full Adamantipator setup here. You know, which is a little scary, but, you know, like I said, we do have the Droplet here. And this is actually nice too because we have the Tenki as well, so we can Droplet for like up to 4 if we have to, which actually 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we only have to Droplet for 3, not quite a full 4, but still. And we got Nerval as one of the cards, and we got Tenki as one of the cards we can send as well. Looks like our opponent let the Tenki resolve, but even if they hadn't, we could still have chained. Okay, cool. Twin Twister is going to bait the negation here, so we actually don't even have to Droplet the Bora load here. And now we're sending the Tenki on board as well as the Twin Twisters that is resolving for the negates. And that actually still is 3. But I don't think we had to negate Bora load because it was already using its Boral counter there. But still a very smart setup for the Droplet there, utilizing all of our resources that were already on board. Opponent's going to respond to Max C to the Nerval Surge, so that's definitely a little annoying. That's more than a little annoying, actually. That's pretty scary. But, you know, we still have to respond to what our opponent's doing now. We're going to have to play into this Max C with the Zodiac Thoroughblade in order to get rid of our opponent's board with Zeus here. So yeah, that's definitely going to mean giving them draws, but yeah, the opponent desperately trying to react to the IP Masquerena. But to no avail, fortunately, to no avail. Now, I could see a world where, like, maybe you stop and make a 2-material Zeus and only give them 2 draws and then just swipe this board, but, I mean, let's be real, it's definitely better to have the 4-material Zeus set up as well. I guess with the Revolt, there is actually kind of that argument to make, but I don't think we could Revolt for sure at this point anyway. I don't remember, actually. I think because it's a video, I can't check the actual graveyard, so... But it is what it is, so... Yep, still setting Revolt anyway. I definitely agree with that. Yes, and then, yeah, I was just going to say, if we're going to flip Revolt, we're going to need to do that relatively soon into the turn, so that way we can still Zeus later. It looks like that is, in fact, what we're doing. Good, good, good. We love to see it. Yep, good old Revolt for 4 for Shurig here. And we can even chain block the Shurig so that it doesn't get wrecked by this Quackmere Guardian here. Love the shiny Shurig as well. And yep, it's good to see that we are chain blocking properly. Chain blocking the Shurig so it can't get Guardian. Chain blocking the Ash, or it's the Nerval so it can't get Ash. And yeah, chain blocking its Guardian as well. So this Guardian's going to get Kit. Totally fine. Kit is the one we care the least about here, so... Nerval Surge is a Fractal, yep. And then we can banish the Supplier. So that's good. Now, if our opponent had a Researcher, they can't special, now they have to normal it. So, looks like they're just going to bring back their Block Dragon here. Opponent does have a lot of cards in hand still, but we also do still have a Zeus board wipe ourselves, so... Yeah, actually looks like our opponent is kind of sufficiently... They must not have had any other plays. I don't really see any other reason... Well, then they just searched another Block Dragon. Yeah, I'm a bit perplexed by that battle phase from our opponent there. I don't really know what's going on with that, but he looks like we're Zeusing here. That's actually a fine place to Zeus, because it means they don't have any more ways to special summon, you know, like the Seeker or the Researcher, since they don't have the Analyzer on board. It looks like they're link climbing with their Block Dragon, starting with the Phoenix, going into the Nightmare Unicorn in order to put the Zeus back. I see, I see. But we have the Fractal, and actually our opponent doesn't have anything else. I wonder what else... I wonder what the rest of their hand looks like, where they did that line of play specifically. Okay, one of them is Max C, but yeah, at this point, we're just going to try to go for lethal, I think, at this point. Or this, yeah, at this point. Okay, we're using Farajit to get off the Whiptail there. Are we going into... Oh, we're going to Appaloosa. Huh, interesting. That's interesting. I would have tried to go for lethal. Well, I don't know what I would have done there, actually. I would have been tempted to go for access code, but I think Appaloosa was the smarter play to go into. I might have missed that. I don't know. That just feels like a line to me that I personally would have missed. So I'm like making mental notes here about that play sequence. Not that I'm going to like go out of my way to incorporate it in the future, but I'm just making note of it so if I find myself in a similar spot, I can then be like, wait a second, flashback. I remember watching Mix P was in a similar scenario, and they made an Appaloosa, even though it looks kind of iffy, it actually kind of ended up saving them. You know, I like, you know, just making mental notes in order to allow us to have those moments. Very, very handy to do there. And like I said, another reason like why I love to see your guys' footage and why I'm so eager to start this series, because I just love seeing different lines of play. It's always nice to just get that outside perspective. It's very, very important to remain open-minded that way. Very important. Ah, I see here. So we're going for the, yeah, we're going for the Rugal search. We're going for the Nerval and the Rugal trying to go for a Volt, but no, our opponent has the Ash Blossom. They have the Ash for the Nerval search. That's so heartbreaking. Ah, this was going to be such a good line. We're going to search the... We're going to get the search and then search the Revolt and put the other thing back, and then we would have had a Revolt set up. Ah, that's brutal. That's so brutal. But we do still at the very least have Rugal out, and Rugal's going to be able to... you know, yeah, bring something back, exactly. So, yeah, bring back Nerval as a nice blocker, and then also we get to get the search off of it as well. Actually, Rugal is a very nice blocker here because, or not Rugal, Nerval, because the 2000 defense, our opponent wasn't able to get over it, so that's nice. And then we can just normal summon Nerval here. Looks like we're banishing 3 for good old Racefulgur, and then we're just going into Shurig or Access Code at this point. Looks like it's going to be Access Code. Which, yep, our opponent's at 39, so that makes sense. Looks like we're just going to go for Lethal here, and then we get the Nerval Search as well. Now, I will say, yeah, we should have done it the other way around. Because Access Code Talker's effects can't be responded to, technically the chain block should have gone the other way. The Nerval behind the access code. That way our opponent couldn't respond to you know, the chain at all. But it didn't end up mattering there. You know, we had lethal anyway, so wasn't too important there. Our opponent surrendered all the same. So like I said, let's go ahead and now take a look at the actual deck list here, which should be coming up. I think I got it in the recording here. Let me actually do a cause and a cause and a putt. Great. A pause and a cut, and then we'll go ahead and look at the list. Okay, so like I promised you, here at the end we have, this is the deck list. I don't know if this is Mixed P's latest iteration of the deck, but this was the list that they shared to me on Twitter. I think it was around May, was it like 13th or 14th, 15th? Somewhere like around that. No, I think it was a little bit sooner than that. It was sometime around early to mid-May. They shared this deck list on Twitter. And we do see some differences. Like I know we saw Twin Twister in that last game. We don't see it on this list. But yeah, so if you were curious about the build of the decks, or the build of the deck of the games we were just watching, this is that list here. So once again, I want to give a very hearty thank you to MixP for sharing your replays and your deck list with us on Twitter. Very much so that we could do our very first viewer special here. And yeah, this list looks pretty solid to me. It's interesting that it's not using DPE, but I don't know if this is maybe like you're just testing the list without DPE, or you haven't pulled or crafted it yet. But Trizu does not require DPE. I mean, DPE I think is ideal, but does not require DPE to still be functional. I think it's still a totally fine deck without it. So I see we're running two Nibiru. I mean, this list does look pretty similar to mine, although A couple of key differences in the R key here are that we're seeing Imperial Order and Cross-Eyed Designator, which are actually both very, very good cards in the deck. I don't use them myself because I don't really have room for them personally, but Imperial Order and Cross-Out, like I said, still very, very good cards in the deck. Cross-Out, especially if you are playing the DPE variant, because so many things are playing DPE, you can just, like, it's pretty easy to hit, like, a Destiny Fusion, in addition to all the, like, hand traps and disruption staples that we're already hitting, and, of course, in addition to Mirror Match stuff that we're hitting as well. So, and yeah, Imperial Order, like I said, is a very solid card overall. Sword Souls are decently spell reliant. I mean, we do often use emergence to get to our plays. Not required, but is fairly important. So, yeah, I think Imperial Order is still a fairly good call in this meta. I mean, spells, right? Spells are common enough in general that Imperial Order is just generally a good card to play. So, yeah, and then the extra deck is looking, you know, extremely par for the course, pretty standard. So, yeah, very solid build and also very solid games there. Once again, thank you very much to MixP, and thank you all to watching, especially at the end of the video like this. Again, if you would like to leave your replays and or deck lists for me, you're going to want to go to Twitter. Well, especially if you want to leave your deck list, because I don't allow comments or links in my comments. Because duh. You're going to want to go ahead and go to my Twitter, where you can share like an Imgur link or something, or like a Master Duel Meta link like MixP did there. Do try to use like Master Duel Meta or MixP, just, you know, those are the best ones usually or best ways to share the deck list images there. But yeah, so you'll want to share the deck list there. But if you've got replays, you can share those in the comments as well. And if you have other ways of like sharing the deck list with me in the YouTube comments, like I guess I'm trying to think of other ways. If you really want to type the whole thing out, I guess go for it. but you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that by any means. Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited to start this series. I would love for this in a perfect world. I would love for this to be a weekly series. I would love to do this every single week to watch your guys' games and look at your guys' decks. But the frequency that I can put these specials out is going to depend on your support, which I'm very much looking towards. And yeah, you guys have been really good so far, so I expect to see good things from you. So without further ado, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So this is XLex, signing off. Hope you have a fantastic day.